Live. Hello, everybody. It's boiling in my office. It is 83 degrees Fahrenheit in my office, which is just fabulous. I have a fan on, but I have it pretty quiet, so and I made it perpendicular to the microphone, so hopefully we'll get won't get too much fan noise in the recorded show. We got are we live on Alpha Geek Radio yet, Steve?
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
It's boiling.
Okay, you need to go on mute. Okay, thank you. All right, we're live on Alpha Geek Radio. Yay, hello, Alpha Geek Radio listeners. I even just got a tweet saying that that's true. All right, no time works for Mark. Okay, that's good. So I wanted to ask you guys in the live show, what time you guys want the live show? Because next week I will be going on vacation on Sunday, so I'm going to do the show on Saturday. Narissa suggested that we do the show at 3 o'clock my time. 6 o'clock her time, Eastern time. So I'm, unless I hear otherwise, I think I might just take her vote as the first vote and just go with it. Let's see. Oh, Alistair's first choice on Chit Chat fell through. There's a possibility I can help you out with that, Alistair. I've got someone standing by. Actually, it's kind of sad. Robert Carter wants to come on the show to talk about some stuff, and unfortunately, he got a kidney stone right after Macstock, and he has not yet recovered from that. In fact, last I talked to him, he was in the hospital. So, but I'm hoping that in another couple of weeks he'll be fine. So, anyway, if you wanted to try to snake him as your guest, Alistair, that's something we could talk about. So let's chat. All right. I'm not hearing seeing any other votes for time, but of course, everybody who's voting is in this time zone. It's convenient, but we'll do it at 3 p.m. Pacific time because that's what Nuris suggested. All right. Let's see. You buy the NosillaCast app, you will get notifications of these changes. All right. I don't see any other reason not to start. It's time for roll call. We got Donald and Dan and Grim. Not sure who Grim is. Never seen Grim before. And Grim's gone. And Ian, not sure who that is. We have had an Ian in before. Don't know if it's the same Ian. And we got Dorothy and Nuris and Mark and Alistair Jenks pulling up the rear, covering the as the what they call that, the cleanup hitter. All right, let me do a sound check here.
Grim is back. Welcome, Grim.
All right, Grim is back.
Hopefully, it's not Mr. Reaper.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bye-bye, dear. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's do a sound check here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2015, and this is show number 532. All right, let me make sure you guys can all hear that. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight. Yeah, it sounds really quiet. Why is it so quiet? That is really strange. Hang on. Let me play with my settings and see. Actually, I think it's more fun if you guys get to see the settings. Most of the show is pre-recorded, so it's okay if I goof around a little bit here. Let me show you. This is Audio Hijack. So I am hearing GarageBand down here. You are hearing it up here. Why would it be a little quieter? So you hear it through Soundflower. Let me hit play on that again and see what's going on. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight. Yeah, that is really quiet. Why is that? What would have changed? I don't think it's my output volume. I don't think that changes anything, but let's try something here. That shouldn't matter. No, that output volume set to maximum. What would that be? I can make it louder. but it sounds really quiet to me, and I have my volume all the way up. So I am hearing it directly. Yeah, I hear it directly, and it sounds really quiet to me. Macintosh Bias. Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2015, and this is show number 530. What make that so quiet? I mean, I can mess with this, I think, but I've never had to before. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Is that louder?
Could you do it again?
Yeah. You can type that too, Steve. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday. That's louder, right?
Yeah, that's louder.
So I'm just changing the volume inside, the output volume inside GarageBand, but I've never had to do that before. I don't know why it's needing that. It's very strange. Well, it looks like a couple more people snuck in. I'm going to go ahead and say hello to C. Anthony Smith. And who else came in? Rose is in the house. Hello, Rose. I don't understand why that is, but I believe that all things are solved by Levelator. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Bring that a little bit closer. And Johnny snuck back in too. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? All right. Oh, that's Ian Princen. Oh, hi, Ian. That is you. Nice to see you again. It's been a long time. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get the show started. It's 7 minutes after. We got to start recording. Here we go. Wait, he says. What am I waiting for? Oh, change back to your video. Ah, yes. Thank you, dear. Stop. There we go. All right. Now you can see me. Thank you, dear. All right, here we go. My producer says, okay, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Let me check something. Let's just make sure GarageBand preferences are correct on. No, audio. No, audio input should be from there. Yes, I do want to change that. It was set to input setting of Soundflower. Oh gosh, that would have been a mess if Steve spoke. Let me try the recording again and hit playback. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. It is still quiet, isn't it?
Quiet.
Keep checking this. Hang on. Hold, please. Audio output should be. This is very strange. Okay, see if anybody can hear this now. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Why would that have changed, you guys? What did I do? Well, I can crank that back up. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. I do not understand why that is, and that's going to bug me. I hope it isn't something catastrophic. Oh, I know it's wrong. Never mind. We are going to start GarageBand over again. Don't save. I just figured it out. Somewhere along the line, I accidentally deleted the track I was supposed to be on, and that's the wrong track, and it's just turned down naturally. So we will bring this up again. Hold, please. And now it will be good. Now I will be on the right track. So I was on the Chit Chat Across the Pond Dumb Question Corner music track is why, but the other track had been disappeared on me. So we're going to do a save as. Glad I kept looking for that because that would not have been good. I think that would have been weird. So I think we want that one. Save, replace. All right, let's try this one more time. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. There we go. Everybody happy?
No, I didn't hear the playback.
Why didn't you hear it?
I don't know.
Oh, you're saying you can't hear the playback?
I not hear it.
Okay, I think I have to stop and start the live show audio. So just a moment. Hold, please. All right, let me try playing that back again. See if you guys hear that. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com.
Okay, that's good.
Good. All right, now we can start the show. Well, that was fun. I'm glad I figured it out, though. It would not have been catastrophic. It was just the track was, I was on the wrong track. I could have recreated the track, but I didn't need to. All right, you guys should have heard that. You guys did hear it by now. Wait, 40 seconds on the second one, just to make sure. Okay. I'm assuming they're going to hear it. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, there we go. Good. They've got it now. Here we go. Finally. All right. Good thing I got a lot of recorded content today. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2015, and this is show number 532. This week's show is going to be formatted just a little bit differently. I've got a couple of stories for you. Then Bart is going to explain let's say he's not going to explain. Why is he asking, did I hit record? I don't know why you're asking me that. Yes, I'm recording. I'm seeing the soundtrack. Okay. All right. Sorry, where did that go? There. Pin that one. There we go. Okay. Here we go. One more time. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2015, and this is show number 532. This week's show is going to be formatted a little bit differently. I got a couple of stories for you. Then Bart is going to join us, but just for talking about security with us. He's going to talk about the hackers getting hacked this week. He's going to give us some security light and important security news. Then for Chit Chat Across the Pond, we'll be joined by Serenity Caldwell from iMore. Next week, Bart will be back to join us along with Steve Sheridan for a special episode of Chit Chat Across the Pond. Before I forget, next week's live show will be on Saturday, not Sunday, at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's 3 p.m., not 5 p.m. So it's going to be 3 p.m. on Saturday. I'm doing it for Nuris because that's the day she wants it. Actually, that's the time she wants it. I'm not doing it on Sunday because I'm going on vacation for a week. I know, I can hear you right now. What's vacation when you're retired? Or didn't you just get back from India? Well, both those things are true, but I'm not going to be around on Sunday, so I'm not going to do the show on Sunday. Also, the following week, Alistair Jenks will be doing the show. That's a show that airs on August 2nd, so there will be no live show on August 2nd. If you've been meaning to send in a recording for the show sometime around now, dust off that microphone and send it in. You can send them to me, and I'll forward them on to Alistair for inclusion in the show. It really does help the guest host when you guys send in your recordings, so get one out, get a recording out there for them. By the way, if you buy the NosillaCast app, you'll get notifications of these changes. You'll be able to see when the new live show times are, and you'll never miss a show again. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you about a couple of shows I was on this week. First, I was on the SMR podcast on episode number 262 entitled Little Community. Rob was out, so I joined Rod Simmons and Chris Ashley, and we had such a blast. What is that noise? I keep hearing this ticking sound next to me. Now it's not doing it. I keep hearing like the fan is rocking or something. Before we get redo that part. You guys hearing that? You guys hearing that ticking? Want me to move the clock? I don't know. Is the clock doing it? Whatever's ticking is driving me. Yeah, it's going like a knocking, like a, I don't know. It's not me. All right. Well, this week I was on a couple of shows. First, I was on the SMR podcast on episode number 262 entitled Little Community. Rob was out, so I joined Rod Simmons and Chris Ashley, and we had such a blast. I mean, the time flew by. If you haven't heard the show before, go check it out. It is such a great geek time. On Thursday, I was on the Daily Tech News Show, episode number 2538, entitled Amazon is Past Its Prime Day. Tom and I talked about whether the desktop office suite is dead, so go check that out. All right, let's get started into the main part of the show. Dave Hamilton of the Mac Geek Gab was talking about how his iPhone misbehaved badly when he first installed iOS 8.4. He said that the battery was draining even while on the charger. While this was interesting, I didn't worry about it too much because I've been running 8.4 for a while and my battery was just fine. Until a couple of days ago when it started losing charge like it had a hole in it. I plugged it into the wall charger and not only did it not gain charge, it got really, really hot too. I gave it a timeout, shut it down all the way and restarted it, and that did not fix the problem. I charged it overnight and in the morning it seemed like it was fine. It was charged at 100%. But then at 10:30 after my morning run, I got the 20% battery warning. Well, that's not good. David said that since he was leaving on vacation the day he installed 8.4, he had no time to fool around with things, so he simply ran a backup and did a restore, and all was well. Cool. I decided I'd just do that too. Now, I do keep iCloud backups turned on, but I hesitate to use them. I mean, why sit around waiting for iCloud when I can do a backup right to iTunes the old-fashioned way? It's got to be faster, right? I ran the backup to iTunes using a wire and everything, and then I told iTunes to do the restore. It asked me, say, 12 different times, are you sure you want to erase everything on your phone? Well, of course I'm sure. After the phone was completely erased, I told it to restore from the backup. My first inclination that something was awry was that it said my last backup was on July 6th, and it was July 14th when I did that. I don't think that was part of the problems I ended up having, though. I figured it wasn't that big of a deal if I got a backup from the 6th anyway, because my photos are protected, my email's in the cloud. What could I need so badly that I did between the 6th and the 14th? For some reason, the restore took hours to complete. It actually seemed to be writing the code by hand for every app it was putting back on the phone rather than just copying over USB. It finally finished, but I wasn't done yet. The phone had to go through a whole bunch of initial setup stuff. I had to tell it the network, give it a passcode, tell it no to restoring passwords for me in the iCloud keychain because I don't like to use that, and I even had to retrain it to do my fingerprints. Then I had to repair it with my Apple Watch. I was excited because on the first day it didn't work right when I did the pairing with the Apple Watch, and I didn't get to scan that psychedelic swirly image that comes up on the watch like all the cool kids did to perform their pairing. This time that worked, and all that was left to my phone was to tell it to use my credit card for Apple Pay again. And then I noticed something horrible. 100% of my activity data was gone from the Apple Watch. I couldn't believe it. I've been exercising like a maniac since May 24th, and all of that lovely data was gone. And you know how I love data, right? I was distraught, to say the least. I sent a message to Dave Hamilton, and he didn't make it much better when he so helpfully said, Allison, the good news is that regardless of what your iPhone says, you actually did all that activity, you know. Clearly, he does not understand me. Well, as one does, I started hunting on the web for a solution. I was unwilling to give up on all that juicy data I had collected. Turns out there's a good reason that Apple did not keep this data for me. Remember how they keep saying they're committed to keeping our private data private? And, it turns out they're especially serious about protecting our health data. As well they should, and activity data is considered health data. Because I ran a backup on my computer and I had not chosen to have encrypted backups, Apple did not include my sensitive health data. The good news is that if you have an iCloud backup, Apple encrypts it so your iCloud backup does include your health data. Took a look at my iPhone and I realized I had an iCloud backup from that very morning right after my run. I went through the entire rigmarole of restoring from a backup again. While the backup was coming back down from the cloud, I decided to stop watching the phone like I had been doing obsessively pretty much all day, and I went for an untethered walk with my dog. It was a very odd experience to have no podcasts in my ears and just, enjoy the outdoor surroundings. Heck, I even talked to a couple of people on my walk. I wouldn't recommend this for the long term, of course, but it was an interesting experience nonetheless. When I got home, to my great delight, all of that luscious? Probably time for a save anyway. When I got where was I? When I got home, to my great delight, all of that luscious activity data came streaming back into my iPhone. I was delighted. The only problem was it meant I had to repair my watch to my phone, and I lost that 3-mile walk I'd done without my phone while waiting for the restore of my data. I decided I could live with that. At least I have all my other data. But it does mean that my phone will not send me a delightful message telling me I had a perfect week this week. Really like that little message. The bottom line is I think Apple really is protecting our data the way they say they are. I think it would have been a tad less distressing for me as a user if when I started the tethered backup, they'd explained to me that my activity data and other private data would not be backed up because I wasn't doing an encrypted backup. I did plan on sending a... No, not I did. I did... Oops. That noise. Did you guys hear that? I think somebody's doing something outside. Yeah, it sounds like a woodpecker. I did, of course, send a strongly worded note to apple.com/feedback with that suggestion. Okay. Adobe corn recipe. You know, Adobe's just got too many security flaws these days, Steve. I don't think we can trust that. Wow, I talked a long time, or you guys are chatty tonight. I'm going back and reading. You miss Ubercaster, huh? I never did play with that. You guys are talking about the possibility of a new iPad. Cracker here too. No, just reading. Let me throw Steve one note. Ooh, that's nice. Steve just sent me the stats on Alpha Geek Radio. Looks like we got a lot of people on Alpha Geek Radio tonight, so that's cool. All righty. Stop talking about food. I'm hungry. All right. Next article here. You guys are going to like this one. This one's cool. My housekeeper, Rocio, has been working us for years. This summer, her soon-to-be... Okay, can't stutter in the first 5 seconds of a segment. That's too quick. I think I'm starving. I'll drink some more water, see if that works. My housekeeper, Rocio, has been working us for years. This summer, her soon-to-be 13-year-old son has nothing to do, so she's dragging the poor kid along to work so that he doesn't sit home playing video games all day or get into some kind of mischief. I think Rocio is brilliant to do this because she's drilling into his head that if he doesn't want to do a job like this for the rest of his life, he better do well in school. You can imagine, of course, that as a 13-year-old, he's riveted to her every word and thinks she's as brilliant as I do, right? Well, I started thinking, what if I could give this kid some stuff to do that stimulated his mind while she was working? Maybe I could get him interested in my favorite subjects, science and math. Now, he may not be interested in these subjects, and I may have no effect on him, but what if he took a liking to it and had a real aptitude? I figured there was no harm in trying, so I asked his mom, and she readily and very enthusiastically agreed to this idea. You heard me talk last week about Little Bits, the hardware modules that a kid can stick together with magnets to do wonderful, magical things. I sat down with him last Thursday and started to walk him through how to play with them. He's a really quiet, shy kid and didn't say much, but I started to see a flicker of interest in his eyes. I have no idea, by the way, whether this kid is the next Richard Feynman or has subpar intelligence, but I figured, why not assume that he's brilliant until otherwise notified? In my opinion, with children, if you set the bar low for them, they will gladly meet those low expectations. If you set the expectations high, they often meet those as well. We put an LED up against a light sensor and got it to turn a motor. We connected a speaker to my cell phone and added power and heard the sound. We used a microphone connected to the speaker and we heard our words come out. He was starting to have some fun. Based on this theory of mine, I started saying things like, I knew a kid as smart as you would love this stuff, and you really have a talent for this. Most kids aren't as good at this when they start. The smiles from him got bigger and bigger as we did more experiments. Now, I mostly guided him through this first effort, but he started to take baby steps on his own with it. I called his mother over and said, look what he made, and convinced him to tell his mother what he had created. And that worked really, really well. But a day later, I got the most awesome text message from his mom, Rocio. She wrote, OMG, thank you very much, in giant capital letters, for spending some of your time teaching my son. We were at my mom's house and he was telling my family what he learned. He is really excited. I could see in his face that he really liked it. When we left your house, he asked me right away if he could come next week. Well, I got to tell you, I am still grinning ear to ear about getting that message. But this week I had to keep his interest level up, right? I can't just drop him now. This week I decided to go with something to get his hands a little dirtier. I decided to teach him how to make a magnet out of some wire, a battery, and a nail. If you never got to do this yourself, it's a lot of fun. You should try it. You take a very thin wire, the kind with shielding on it, not bare wire, and you wrap it around a steel nail. A whole lot of wraps, like 50 wraps around the steel nail. Now the nail must be steel because it must have iron in it or the experiment isn't going to work. Then you strip the ends of the wire back a bit and hold them onto the opposite ends of a AA battery. The tip of the nail will be magnetic. If you search the internet for wire, nail, battery experiment, you'll find tons of tutorials online showing how to do this. Michael Faraday in the 1820s suggested the connection between electricity and magnetism, now the field called electromagnetism, and is credited with the practical usage of these tools. I explained this to the young man and then showed him my favorite use of electromagnetism. Turns out that not only does flowing electricity through a coiled wire, induce a magnetic field, you can do the reverse as well. If you put a bar magnet inside a coil of wire, not touching the coil of wire, but floating in the middle of it, and you send an electrical current through the wire, you can make the magnet move. I took him over to our stereo speaker and pulled the protective cover off to show him the real face of the speaker, the paper face. I explained that as the stereo pumped electricity into the speaker, it was moving a magnet in and out that moved the paper face of the speaker, which in turn moved the air to make the sound in his ears. Now, I'm not sure he followed all of this explanation, but my father always said to think of teaching children as being like trying to pour a bucket of water into the neck of a wine bottle. Not everything's going to get in, but pour enough and enough times, some of it's going to get in. I think my favorite part of this section though, okay. Cut that. I think my favorite part of the second session was when we'd exhausted the fun of the wire magnet and he asked if he could play with the little bits again. I didn't help him at all this time. I just played on my laptop in the same room with him. And then I heard the most wonderful words come out of his mouth. He said, I wonder what would happen if, I almost cried with joy. It was just that spark, that light was on. He was 100% bought in. He played with it for another half hour and he kept making up his own experiments, many of which failed. But by the way, I never told him they wouldn't work. And over again, he said those joyous words. I wonder what would happen if. Isn't that a cool story? I like that. You guys aren't even talking about Mexican recipe. They're making corn. All right. Steve gets to hear it early. All right. Well, that answers that question. All right. I am going to keep going. Oh, and here's a picture of the kid I'm talking about. Oh, no, I can't. Why is that? I wonder, can I do, here we go. Oh, and by the way, I just noticed, I need you guys to proofread for me. I just noticed it says tail, not nail in the text of that. I said that the tail will be magnetized. I don't think it's the tail, it's the nail. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, every once in a while I do nice things. I've had people tell me I'm a nice person. I don't think they know what they're talking about, but what are you going to do? I'm a member of a local user group in town, but I don't attend those meetings. I do read people's questions that they send in email, though, mostly because I just enjoy the heck out of knowing the answer to a problem and helping someone along the way. This week, a gentleman named Michael was complaining about Apple Photos and how he had to use it and how he couldn't use iPhoto anymore. I explained in one response that iPhoto is still there and you can still use it. He explained back that his workflow has been stolen by Photos, though, because Photos keeps opening. I suspected the problem was that his default setting was to open Photos when inserting his memory card, camera, or phone. I explained that simply changing the behavior over an image capture would fix the problem. He wrote back that it didn't work. I finally did what I should have done in the first place. I whipped open Clarify, inserted a memory card, opened image capture, took 3 screenshots, put an arrow pointing to the upwards facing teeny tiny disclosure triangle that lets you see the control of what happens when you insert a device. And I showed him that you could indeed still choose iPhoto to open. Put a couple of words in to explain what you have, that you do have to insert the something into the device enabled in order to get access to these controls. Now, this wasn't a masterpiece I really needed to post online, so I simply went to Edit and chose Copy Document to Clipboard from within Clarify. I chose text and images and then pasted it into the email and hit send. This took far less time than I'd spent with Michael going back and forth in words. I wanted to read you what he wrote back. Thank you, Allison. Yes, I did try the image capture thing in response to your first email, but I think I may not have had the SD card plugged in at the time, and perhaps it sets the options per device. Either way, your illustrations were perfect. Thank you. How wonderfully kind of you. Your patience penetrated my frustration. You're awesome. Have I said thank you enough? Just in case, thank you again. Okay, how's that for a good testimonial? He also asked me, he said, I use Snagit to help other people. What tool did you use? You can bet I told him that it was Clarify. Like I said, if this isn't a good enough tutorial, I don't know what's ever going to get you to go over to clarify-it.com and download the free trial for Mac or Windows or both. Okay, seriously, what is that? NASA Nut snuck in. Hey, John, how are you? Nice to see you. Got a fun crowd tonight. People who want something, they're the ones that call me nice. Yeah, probably. All right, now I got a problem to solve here. So I've got security with Bart, but then, so do I put the chit chat music now, or do I save the chit chat music for when Serenity comes in? Let me put Bart in and see if we said it's, I think I didn't say, I said it's time for that time of the week. It's time for chit chat across the pond. Yeah. What did I do last time? Anybody remember? All right. Let's see. Let's hear what it sounds like if I just jump into that. I'm going to get you to go over to clarify-it.com and download the free trial for Mac or Windows or both. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's not time for chit chat across the pond, but it is time for security. Yeah. Oh, hey, when did Stephen Getz sneak in? Hey, Stephen. Yeah, I almost used his tutorial as the tutorial, but I decided to use this one and I moved his into next week. Alistair, I'm going to talk about your tutorial for sure. Put in the bumper music before security light. Okay. All right. Ears off. Kevin isn't here yet. He's still out grilling. Boy, the temperature's definitely dropped. It's not even annoying in here anymore. It was hot. It was 83 in my office. It's disgusting. At least the humidity was really high. As I posted on Facebook, though, it's hot enough to be Hawaii. It's humid enough to be Hawaii. Why are there no little cabana boys bringing me adult beverages? That's what I want to know. Okay, let me see that. Okay, there. That's not right. Is that what that looks like? Come and download the free trial for Mac or Windows or both. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's not. Symbols okay? I bet you didn't check the symbols. End a bit soon? I never know what you mean by end a bit soon. That doesn't make any sense. I'm moving the chit chat with respect to that, so the audio starts too soon. Okay. Here we go. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's not time for chit chat across the pond, but okay. It was actually raining in both places, Alistair. It was crazy. We had, in fact, we had rain this afternoon. She's down in San Diego, so the drought is even a little worse down there. It's going to be a long show. So maybe I'll do chit chat music again. I think I'll do it twice. Let's see what it sounds like doing it twice. Okay, let's see where Bart ends. See you soon, Bart.
Okay, talk to you soon. Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Okay, happy computing. Oh, bleh. Until next week, happy computing.
Okay, well, if I don't do the music, it's going to go straight from that to me saying, it's that time of the week again. It's time for chit chat across the pond. So this is going to, I think this will sound even funnier. So this is what it'll sound like if I don't do middle music.
Or we do our cool topic with Steve next week.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon, Bart.
Okay, talk to you soon. Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Okay, happy computing. Oh, bleh. Until next week, happy computing.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for chit chat across the pond, and I'm excited. Doesn't that sound weird, Steve? I'll cut that a little shorter, of course. Why don't you listen? Always make me do stuff twice. Pull it a little tighter than that.
Okay, happy computing. Oh, bleh. Until next week, happy computing.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for chit chat across the pond, and or we can do this and have the music come in a second time. See how that sounds. If that's I think they're both going to be funny. I could use different music for her. Okay, here we go. Yes, say it.
Okay, happy computing. Oh, bleh. Until next week, happy computing.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for chit chat across. I like the music twice. I think I should get rid of Bart's little, what do you think? Since I'm fooling around.
Okay, happy computing. Oh, bleh. Until next.
There you go. From there, get rid of that. And pretty easy to say. Actually, I could do that. See if that sounds better.
Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Until next week, happy computing.
No music first with Bart. Okay, so Rose and Alistair think there shouldn't be music before Bart. Then music, and Ian think there shouldn't be music, but Steve thought there should be. Steve thought it should be before Bart. Because Bart is not, it's not chit chat across the pond. Oh, now here's something I could do. I could put the ad right before, because the ad always plays right before chit chat. So I could jump in and do security light and then do that. That'd be strange. Okay, Ian and Rose. Steve wants me to find new music. But would that new music go for Bart or for, don't look in iTunes. Oh, GarageBand. Who is that? 2 is fine. Well, let's hear what I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with 2 of them. It's kind of funny. Uh-oh, Steve just told me Kevin is here. Steve, he said not to tell me. All right, so I'm just going to vamp until Steve comes up with alternative music. So this would sound if we had two of them.
Security stuff before we do our cool topic with Steve next week.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon, Bart.
Okay, talk to you soon. Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Until next week, happy computing.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for chit chat across the pond, and I'm excited to invite to the show. Now, there are different versions of that's 44th Street Short. I could look for, what if we did this? If we went into jazz and looked for 44th Street Medium or something. Oh, the show for the very first time. I hate how it does that. Let me bring this in. I could make hers sound different. 96. Yikes. That's nasty. Let's see. What if I did this? I have no idea what this is going to sound like.
See you soon. Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Until next week, happy computing.
Okay, he wants curtain call short. See how that sounds. 9 seconds. Does it have symbols?
Okay, talk to you soon. Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Until next week, happy computing.
I think that's a little too much. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for, and then I come all in. It's that time of the week again. It's time for chit chat across. That sounds ridiculous. Okay, let me turn the volume down over here so I don't make Kevin soil himself. We could try a few more. That's not bad. How about bossa longer short, lounger short, perspective short? He likes. All right, let's listen to that one. No, I don't like that one. I could do midlight dialogue short. We use medium and long. No, that's too confusing. And for chit chat across. Okay. Red velvet short. Across the pond, and I'm excited. Weird. When I hit space once, it plays the loop, and when I hit space the second time, it plays it over. It plays the GarageBand thing. That's weird. Swing City short. Okay, let's hear that one. Oh, that's pretty good. Excited to invite to the. Okay, let's see. Let me try that one. All right. Let's see where the. So this would have to start like right at the end of that, I guess. That's a little bit longer gap, but let's hear how it sounds.
So before we do our cool topic with Steve next week.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon, Bart.
Okay, talk to you soon. Oh, I should say happy computing, shouldn't I?
Yes, say it.
Until next week, happy computing.
Oh, I didn't notice it had all that. That's too much. Let's cut it off. Let's cut it off. Or I'll bring it down or something here. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? No. What do you think? Yeah. Can I just cut it? Let's hear it. Right before the piano. Okay. Yeah, I'm not good at this. If I do a tight cut, that might be abrupt. Whoops. I always cut the wrong one. Let's see how that sounds. And I'll cut me right in. Let's see how that is. Yeah, say it.
Until next week, happy computing.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond, and I'm excited to invite to the show for the very first time. You like that? That's not too abrupt. It's really abrupt right there. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond. I could cut it to 0. I tell you what, let me do that. Yeah. Thank you, Johnny, and thank you, Kevin. I'm going to do, let me do something here. It won't let me do that. All right, let me try this again. Okay, I'm going to put Swing City Short back in and put it right there. And then I'm going to go drop in the front end audio, and then I can mess around with that. Let's see, we're going to go to favorites, jazz, midnight dialogue, medium. Goes in right here. This would be more interesting, I think, if you were watching this instead of watching me, but everybody always yells at me when I do that, so I'm not doing it. Let's see. I think it sounds about right there. 32. This week's 532. This week's show is going to be okay. Now I'm going to go to the other end into the middle here. There we go. Okay. So now what I think I can do. Okay, and from there, I can take that and bring it down to 0 pretty quickly as we talk. So how about this? Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit. Bring this in a little bit earlier. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond, and I'm excited to invite to the show for the very first time Serenity Caldwell of iMore. How are you doing today, Serenity?
I'm doing well, Allison. Thank you for having me.
This must have been the most interesting scheduling I've ever had to do for the show.
It was a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Well, talk about crazy. iMore.com. I swear, you guys didn't exist like 15 minutes ago, and now you guys are everywhere. I mean, anytime I want to know anything, tips, news, anything, it's all at iMore.
That's very sweet of you to say.
Where did you guys come from? I mean,
well, so
you were there all along, right?
Yeah, Renee Ritchie has actually been doing fabulous work. iMore, I think, has only been called iMore for the last 2 years, and before that, it was the iPhone blog.
Okay.
But Renee has been doing fabulous work for about 4 or 5 years over there. Pretty much Dieter Bohn, who now works for The Verge, kind of plucked him out of the forums and was like, make this site magical. And Renee's kind of been chugging hard. And then I came on board last October. We had Peter Cohen and Ali Kazmucha for a while. Now it's Renee and I, and we're going to hire a couple more people now that the site's really kind of taken off. It's just, I feel like a lot of hard work that's been put into fruition finally.
Yeah, it's a site that's not only really compelling with the content, but it's also beautiful to navigate. And I'm not a hardcore print font kind of person, but I know Renee is, and I've just been blown away. I mean, the only place I went to learn about photos was to you guys. There was just no point looking anywhere else. And now you've taken on part of our scheduling excitement was, that little Apple Music thing dropped?
That thing. Who knows about that, really?
There was no subtleties or anything to that, right?
No, that was cut and dry. Yeah, the Apple Music was a little funny in that I was expecting, I'll write an FAQ. It'll be fine. That will be that. And then the first day in, I'm like, music and match are kind of similar. Maybe I should compare contrast.
Comparison.
Yeah, and then that article got updated 7 times in the next 24 hours because I was constantly learning things and constantly trying to deconstruct. I was like, wait a second, match users are getting DRM track. Wait, what's going? So,
which they're not.
They're not.
Okay,
yes, they are not the TLDR version.
So I'm going to do a little bit of sampling here and see if I can stand it. She had some dogs barking at one point that I think she wanted me to cut out. I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to sample here for a little bit. So this might be annoying audio, but looks like nobody's talking to me anyway. It looks like people are watching cartoons. So I'm going to do a little bit of sampling here. It's going to sound real weird.
Of Apple Music versus a song from the Apple Music DRM on songs. Let's say you have a Beatles sequel and save us the hassle of having to store the extra.
Right.
Panicked.
Or and I believe I have it. It's called Music Specific Anhedonia. I've got a MacBook Pro with this. What I wanted to talk to you about was
so primarily
they're not their front door lock yet.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're encrypted.
I assume that there's some kind of encryption, but it's just in terms, so iPhone or your iPad. I think the best way to think about it is kind of like CarPlay, which is an app, and the Encion app set HomeKit Hub.
Oh.
If you're setting up the HomeKit Hub, the app knows, this doesn't have that encryption.
Mm-hmm.
Contrast with the Nest is that the Ecobee not only uses the sensor that's placed in the wall to tell you what temperature is. So, say you put it in your hallway and realize of the Ecobee 3s. Yeah,
okay.
She's announced at WWDC in 2014, praying that Apple's next Apple TV will be a HomeKit Hub.
I know it's when she just talked.
I'm going to my Ecobee app. Siri is a huge value in this case. In those individual apps, little door lock.
There you go.
I've seen them eat cans before. So
there it is. It's her dogs. 12 different devices going, honey, which one's the lights again?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're good at this stuff.
And that's why Siri is a huge value in this case, especially if we're doing sort of piecemeal HomeKit, because I can just say, Siri, turn on the lights in the bedroom, and Siri will understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, so Siri knows that whether it's the Ecobee or the Lutron or whatever. Oh, that's
exactly
nice.
Because you've taught it in those individual apps. If you had a centralized app, though, it would allow you to just do that a little bit quicker.
Okay, well, that's not quite as bad as I thought, though.
No, it's not super complicated.
How do you feel about door locks?
Door locks.
Do you still get that queasy feeling in the pit of your stomach, or are you feeling bold? And what's your address again?
Yeah. If there was a good HomeKit enabled door lock, I think that Apple's encryption is fantastic, and I'm not concerned about that.
Okay.
I do think it's kind of I feel like the Skynet. I think about the Skynet possibilities sometimes, where I'm just thinking.
How did I not? Okay, I'm at hour 22. Where did she say I've seen them eat cans? Station.
Yeah, you can already talk to the space station.
FedEx guy's here.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
To add and remove them, and it would also allow you. Oops, sorry, my dogs are going crazy in the background.
Something fun to have. FedEx guy's here.
As well as to add and remove them, and it would also allow you. Oops, sorry, my dogs are going crazy in the background.
Something fun to have. FedEx guy's here.
Yeah. So the advantage to having a centralized.
Okay. I think if I started there. All right. I think I found it. That was a lot of work just for a couple of dogs barking, but I think it bothered her.
Yeah, you can already talk to the space station, but this would allow you to see all of your HomeKit accessories in one place, as well as.
Let's see if I jump from there to here.
As
wow, it's hard to move.
So the advantage to having a centralized HomeKit app would be to be able to see all of your accessories, as well as control renaming of your room.
Oh, so she did already say that. Whoops. Here we go.
Disappointed, myself included, that Apple doesn't have a standalone app. Of course,
so one app to rule them all that would talk to all the other apps.
Exactly.
What benefit would that give you? Because you can already talk to the space station.
Yeah, you can already talk to the space station, but this would allow you to see all of your HomeKit.
Yeah, she does do that. She's talking to the space station because she named one of her rooms the space station. How fun is that? All right. View down in there. All right. I think I've got it. All right. Talk to the space station.
Yeah, you can already talk to the space station, but so the advantage to having a centralized HomeKit app would be to be able to see all of your accessories, as well as control renaming of.
There we go. All right. It's clean. It's clean now. Go to the end. All right. Here we go.
And a motley cast of characters on all.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds like a plan. Take care, Allison.
All right. Allison's here. Okay. Here we go. Well, I hope you guys appreciated that new little music in between the two segments. You have no idea how long it took the chat room to make the decision on whether I played the regular chit chat music before Bart or before Serenity, or I play it twice, or in the end, Steve won, which was two different kinds of music. So I guess Bart retains his position with the chit chat music, and we have a new version of song in between. So that was very exciting for the live chat room. I'm sure they had a really good time. I had a good time with Serenity, and I sure hope she comes back soon. But that's going to wind us up for this week. Many thanks to our sponsor for helping to pay the bills. Don't forget to go over to clarify-it.com, get yourself a free copy of Clarify and try it out for however long they let you try it out for free, and then buy it. Anyway, don't forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, suggestions, especially because Alistair needs some recordings. Send in some recordings to me at allison@podfeet.com and follow me on Twitter @podfeet. Check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community. I've been posting some stuff over there. A great picture of my daughter and I doing a great FaceTime session while I had her trying to fix her computer with me remote. It was really, really fun. If you want to join in the fun of the live show like Grim came back to after a long hiatus, head on over to podfeet.com/live. normally on Sunday nights, but remember, next week it's going to be Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla Castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. I'm going to re-record that because I said Nosilla Castaways. Normally on Sunday nights, but take it from there. Actually. And join the friendly. I'm hungry. Join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla Castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Sirens. Oh, that's good. Can you hear those on the recording? Let's see. Pacific time. And join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla Castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. I can't tell if those are on the recording. Oh, well. They are or they're not. Here we go. 3 p.m. Pacific time. And join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla Castaways. I wonder if it's in the recording, though. If you can hear it, they probably are. Saturday, because I'm going on vacation. Steve and I are going to go off with his family, all 800 of them. How many are there now? 21, 22? There's one in the can still. We hasn't come out yet. Another baby. Steve's family procreates pretty, 21 and a half. Actually, I think it's like 21 and 8/9. I got babies coming out any minute now. At 3 p.m. Pacific time. And join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla Castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Wait, why does Steve need a vacation? What does he do? He doesn't produce a show for you. Jeez. Join those two. Moral support. Yes, he does. He does do a lot of moral support. He would need a vacation if we went and stayed with my family. We don't even go see my brother. We go to San Diego all the time. We never see my brother. We see your mom and dad. We don't go see my brother. All right. I am doing the mix down, and then I'm going to add the front end audio. Can't believe I did that again. All right. And then I've got I'm not going to pull Bart together. What did Kevin write? He said, if we're quiet, Podfeet won't notice us. No, Steve, more. I thought he produced everything. Oh, did you? Did you really think that he produced everything? Yeah? How'd you like to take a shot at that, Steve? Seriously. Yeah, he produces everything. You should see what a big deal he makes out of copying the link from the Google Hangout into the into the webpage at podfeet.com. It's like, oh, I got to do all this stuff. Oh no. Yeah, no, he does a great job. It's been fun giving him access to all that. Will you tell Lindsay that I'm still working on the live show, Steve? She's chatting with me. Let's see. Okay.
How is she chatting? What medium?
Text message me. Tell her I will get with her when I'm done with the show. We're almost done. All right, joining the last little bits. All right, guys, it's probably about time I say goodbye. It is 5:59. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for coming into the show, Alpha Geek Radio. Thank you for coming, the app people. Thank you for coming to the people who come to the web, and thank you for people in the Hangout. It's very exciting. I'm going to say goodbye now to the, the app people first. Goodbye, app people. All right, and that might even, I don't know how Alpha Geek Radio gets a signal. I think Steve shuts you off, but I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, yeah, Rose, I did call him the producer. All right. Goodbye. I'm stopping the live broadcast. Goodbye.